Welcome everybody to a buttoned up bowl of dude soup, sutured up.
But
I got my surgery. Everything's good. So I realized this medical procedure, probably the most important one of my life, both started and ended on a podcast.
Wait, catch me up. What happened?
Okay, so I had a para-umbilical hernia, which is so in your belly button. They're basically. I'm now suddenly an expert on hernias because I've been to a lot of doctors about it. So, on a man's body, there are three places where hernias form. Oh shit! Real quick, this podcast is sponsored by Movement Watches. We'll hear more about them later. Time to get your hernia checked. Okay, there are three places on a human body where hernias occur, or a male body rather. There is right at the belly button where the umbilical actually connected through when you were a baby, because that's just like a point of tension. I guess to kick it back one more level. The inside of your body, it's not just guts, bone, and then skin. There's a sac holding all your guts in called the fascia.
sac.
Nice. So that just keeps your intestines and stuff from like rubbing against everything else. It's just a little like grocery bag. And a hernia is when there's a hole in the grocery bag and the groceries poke out a little bit. So for me, I had a hole right above my belly button where my intestines were kind of falling out.
That's how it's explained in medical doctors. They're
Yeah.
like, you got this bag and you're sticking out. And
Actually, my doctors were really chill and pretty cool. The first one I went to told me, without even me having to ask, that he was like, yeah, you can keep drinking, it's fine.
He just took one look and he knew.
My jaundice and my like shaking hands, he's like, oh, you need
You want
this.
to do a shot now?
So the other two places where hernias occur on men is right in between the thighs, because your balls, when you're a baby, actually travel through your body and drop down through the bottom of your...
Where do they start?
I think they like start in here somewhere? I don't know. Despite being an expert on hernias, I don't know that aspect
Humans
of it.
are disgusting.
You don't know about baby testicles?
No. I have. I don't know. They never told me. What caused before in my life would I have... Why is he looking at the
I
screen?
was going to say, Yarny keeps looking at you. By the way,
he's just exploring.
we're playing Unraveled.
Yeah, we're playing Unraveled, so...
Catch me.
Some guy on Killscreen really hated this game, so we're supposed to hate it too, I guess. On the podcast when we were in Austin, the day before, I discovered that I had a squishy pooch part in my belly. Proboscis? What'd you call it? Protuberances. I had a protuberance. So I went to a doctor, got that checked out, had a hernia, finally got it stitched up. And now, for the world to see... Oh boy.
You're gonna show it?
I'm gonna show my surgical wound.
Joel just scampered.
It's not as exciting, sadly. It's all packed up with hold on, I gotta let me dramatically unbutton.
Oh, it's like a weird sex
Oh my
show.
god!
Oh!
Yeah, they
Cotton ball.
had to shave my belly.
So wait.
Well, no,
the mic's in the way.
There we go. Okay.
Wait,
That's
so
very
they just filled in your belly button
Look at
with
me.
white.
Basically, yeah. It probably looks really gnarly under there, but
Well, so yeah, what?
Let's pop that off.
I gotta
check it out.
I gotta schedule a checkup. They told me not to take that off. And get it wet.
Oh, doctors, they always say things like that.
I didn't do either of those. It's still there.
You can't go swimming right now, huh?
No.
Oh, man.
No. There's a lot of things I can't do.
Can you shower?
I have been showering, but it's been challenging.
You have to like put a bag over it and stuff.
No, I just kind of like lean into the water and then lean out, and then for this part of my belly, I just like kind of like suds it up and then rub it down.
It's kind of what they do in third world countries, where they let the water run and they just put waft it on them and they
Basically, yeah. I get about a cup full of water to take a shower with, so it's been challenging. I have a musk now, but I'm on the mend. That's good. I don't know.
Yarny's dead.
To me, I find a way to make most things in life fundamentally depressing, and to me, it occurs that this is the first time that my body has significantly broken. There's always a first, and it's just going to get more frequent and more serious from here. So that's it.
How old are you now, Lawrence?
32.
32. Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough, man.
Hernia Club?
Yeah, the 30
What's
club.
the first rule of Hernia Club?
Hernia Club.
Hernia Club.
Very harrowing tale.
Show your hernia.
I'm glad you're feeling a lot better. But I also want to say that I just got a notification on my computer that Overwatch is not playable.
Oh! All right. Well.
Anyway, thanks for listening to the podcast.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, the universe giveth, the universe taketh away. We have an Overwatch baby now, but we lost two babies this week. Game trailers, and our baby boy Sean Poole is leaving the Funhouse family. So Sean, yeah, you said as much.
He doesn't know.
So Sean will be joining us in a minute.
I thought you said he's leaving.
Yeah, because he has to tell us he's leaving again.
We're
And
going to
okay.
talk about the other thing that's leaving first.
we got to reminisce. Yeah.
We're going to drag this out for a week.
Oh, and I should also mention we are joined by Craig from Screw Attack. Hello, Craig.
Yeah, people are just like looking at me going, "Who the hell is?" Hey, are we doing high fives?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
All right.
So, in case you guys are unaware, both Craig and Elise have extensive history with Game Trailers. At least worked there for a long ass time, and Game Trailers and Screw Attack had a pretty tight relationship for a very long time.
Yeah, we got paid by Game Trailers for a really long time.
Sweet. So that's
You
quite
got
your
paid?
why.
So I guess you guys don't share everything.
I got paid.
So I guess you guys can certainly share your take and your history with Game Trailers, but the only thing I want to start off with, and then I'll let you guys take it away, is first of all, no matter what set or what commentary we may have on Game Trailers as a company or what they've done, we're very empathetic to the people who lost their jobs. That shit sucks. And it's also incredible that any company, especially a media company, can stay around and be relevant for as long as Game Trailers was.
13 years.
13 years is absurd.
Jeez.
Screw Attack is kicking up on that. You're at 10 right now, right?
Yeah. We got our 10-year coming up next week, and it's crazy because Game Trailers for us they were our first real big exposure. We launched in 2006, and kind of how we got involved with Game Trailers is like the first year of Screw Attack, I essentially spent on my parents' counter in their kitchen sending emails out saying, "Hey, please look at us because we can't make money without you guys." Because we knew we had a website, and you couldn't make money with a website. You still can't make money with websites, and or at least at the time we didn't know how to make money with websites. So we're like, "Hey, we make videos and stuff," and send emails to everybody. And I wish I could tell you like Game Trailers were like, "Yeah, come on board," but they weren't. They actually shot us down really hard initially.
Oh, shit.
And then you remember GameVideos.com?
Yes.
From 1UP. They gave us our first shot. And they're like, "Yeah, well, you can do something." And we made a couple top 10s, and they both did really well. Like, this is late 2006, and at the time they did like 255,000 views in a day, which in
not bad.
2006 was
Wow,
like amazing.
That's pretty big numbers.
And I remember just like refreshing the page and, "Holy crap, this is amazing!" So like, sure enough, a week later, Game Trailers was like, "Hey, so we saw these top 10s you guys did. They're pretty good. You guys want to work together?" And that's kind of how it all started. And so for literally 5 years, we did top 10s and video game vaults. And a lot of people remember, obviously, the Angry Video Game Nerd.
Yeah.
So Game Trailers was huge for us for exposure for Screw Attack and allowing us to actually become a business. So like I have nothing but fond memories of Game Trailers, and last night I posted our old intro, our old Screw Attack Game Trailers intro, and the comments of it on YouTube were like, "Oh god, 7 seconds, it's so nostalgic, and you guys used to be good."
Shit.
A lot of that.
You're like, "Oh, thanks, Dick."
Yeah. I used to watch you guys a lot.
Aw.
So yeah, it was tough to hear them saying they're going away, but at least you work there. Like,
Yeah.
you are part of it. We were just some guys that were making videos for them, so I don't know.
But the thing is like I felt like I knew you. I mean, I knew you before Funhouse because of Game Trailers.
Yeah.
And new Screw Attack. When I started at Game Trailers, I was working on the TV show that was owned by Spike and Viacom GTTV with Jeff Keighley,
Formerly Gamehead.
formerly Gamehead.
Great name.
And then actually got laid off at one point, but then got brought back because I had an awesome boss,
Who's your boss?
Jeremy Hoffman.
Oh yeah.
And then the TV show ended, and he managed to keep me working for the site, and that's when I started doing content for them, and
What'd you work on?
I-
So
well,
she's getting
specifically-
infatuated by Yarny.
Yarny.
Yeah.
Yarny's so pretty.
I do
So
want to
cute.
cry a little bit. It's just,
Look
It
at
looks
him.
real cool.
He's so innocent and pure.
Yarny is a game about loss.
yeah. I like it because his love interest is an old woman, and I can relate to
I will
this.
get back to you, my love. But anyway.
Oh, but I
Get that ball of
so,
yarn.
I mean,
Get that secret ball of yarn.
I can't.
Oh.
I'm stuck.
Oh.
You got to pull that. You got to
Yeah.
pull that flower.
It-
To your right there, there's a little. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah,
all right,
Game
okay,
Trailers.
Anyway, Game Trailers.
Keep talking about Game
yeah,
Trailers. Talk about the game.
Sorry, audio listeners.
People already forgot about him.
Yeah.
Darn it.
I worked on shows like Bonus Round, and I just kind of did a whole ton of shit. Like, I produced and wrote Mandatory Update with Ian, and appeared on that as like a kind of SNL-style Weekend Update news show. I did a little short-lived series, Ladies in the Lobby, and Tabletop Adventures, which is our Dungeons and Dragons show, which is really fun. Just a kind of a whole like smattering of stuff. But yeah, I'm really sad to hear the news too. And it was always the kind of thing where, after Viacom sold Game Trailers to Defy, it was always kind of expected that, who knows in this climate how long this company could last.
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't expecting it at this time.
Well, when Defy came in and acquired Game Trailers and stuff, like, I thought Viacom was a really good fit for them because Viacom has money, and they can provide resources and stuff. And when Defy came in, I knew Defy from, I guess, did they run Escapist? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They run Escapist.
They acquired Escapist, I think.
Yeah, they acquired Escapist and they acquired Smosh and all that stuff. So I don't know. It definitely felt from the outside like something was going down from a larger perspective, but. For me, I remember working with Brad Winters was their GM at Game Trailers for a long time, and he came in right after we were brought in. John Slusser, who now heads up Spike something, or used to head up Spike. I don't really know what he does now, but John initially brought us in. Then we were handed off to Brad, and I remember John and Brad saying something very that really has stuck with me about kind of Screw Attack versus Game Trailers content. And he goes, we're corporately owned, and the thing we really love about you guys is you guys can say what we can't. You guys can say whatever you guys want, and we can't do that. And I think that says a lot, right? That you are restricted in how you can present things, and I hate that. And you look at where the internet is now, even with Rooster Teeth and Funhouse, Screw Attack, Achievement Hunter, I don't think there's any restrictions as to, we've never been told, hey, you cannot say anything about this person, or I don't know about you guys, but
no, never.
And I think that you have to have that, and the idea that you can only say certain things about certain companies because you don't want to damage relationships or whatever. The internet's changed so much, and I don't know, that's always just stuck with me.
I've always felt that the best way to endear a company is to kind of, especially one that you work for, is to sort of make fun of it and sort of even at Viacom and Defy, we on Mandatory Update, we'd do things where we'd show an exterior shot of the building and we'd have lightning striking down and ominous music because we thought that was funny. And I think if you're trying to be grassroots and seem appealing to a young and very savvy and aware audience, but you're have that corporate backing, doing that kind of thing is important. Just because nobody wants to seem like squares, working for the man.
I think one of the biggest things with Game Trailers, just in the grand scheme of their business, which, once again, there's so many talented people there, but from a business perspective, you got to remember that there was a huge lawsuit between Viacom and Google, and
YouTube.
For YouTube specifically, yeah. And I think, while YouTube was becoming what YouTube is now, Game Trailers literally couldn't do that because their owners were we're not touching YouTube.
Yeah.
So I think that greatly affected them. And now you look at where every brand is, and they're on YouTube. And whether you like it or not, you need to use YouTube as a platform or however you want to do it. But the fact that literally in the last 6, 7, 8 months was the first time Game Trailers was we're going to really go after YouTube and go after that audience. That's way too late in the game.
Well, yeah, because the lawsuit didn't get resolved until spring 2014.
Jeez.
And then Game Trailers was acquired by Defy. Well, it was announced in June 2014. Right at E3.
Yarn is dead.
Actually.
He's made of yarn. Why does falling hurt him?
And
Good point.
So yeah, it was a really, really late time to get into the YouTube landscape and try to adapt. And then also, there was still a relatively large community on the website, and asking them to transition to YouTube when they felt their community was there was kind of tearing the audience, I suppose.
Yeah, because there's always I know for us in particular, and for a lot of people, they're like, well, you're abandoning the community by doing it on YouTube, and it's like, well, no, we're expanding the community by going to YouTube, and we've seen pushback from well, you're not doing much stuff on the website anymore. It's like, we get it, we totally understand, but from a greater perspective, you got to reach out there. And I don't know, it obviously sucks. Just having friends who lost their job yesterday. I saw what about it? Why am I blanking on his fucking name right now?
Brandon Jones?
Well, no, obviously Brandon. I talked to Brandon pretty extensively last night.
Yeah.
And by the way, Elise, if you want to go tonight, I'm taking those guys out to drinks.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, straight up. If you guys want to go,
James, you can take this hit on your woman, right?
No, only
Way to capitalize on
ex-game
tragedy.
trailers. Yeah. No, I figured I'd take them all out and get them drunk. And
You
have
just need
fun,
someone
right?
to talk to. You need to cry on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Just have
But-
sex, get your mind off things.
But I was looking at somebody last night on Twitter. They were like, I feel very fortunate to still have my job. It was Danny O'Dwyer up at Game.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I feel very fortunate to have my job today because, it's like you just never know in
Yeah,
this
that
landscape.
hammer can fall.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, not to pull it away from game trailers, but kind of what we did back at Machinima was desperately find a way to keep our jobs. You
Yeah.
know, like the only reason that like we made the Inside Gaming channel what it was is because we were like the landscape is changing and our job description isn't really in that landscape anywhere. So how can we just kind of on our own basically figure out a way to keep our jobs? And sometimes you have to guess.
Is that a hedgehog?
This game's freaking beautiful.
It is a
Yeah.
gorgeous game.
Sometimes you have to guess, but
really cute.
other times you make an educated effort, and then that's what you push towards. And so, like,
that was the thing we saw where I think it was kind of a flaw with a lot of
Need
thinking.
That block. You're gonna need that block, Adam.
Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt.
It's okay. But no, like I think Lawrence could speak to this a lot more. But like the whole idea of having an editorial team, and like we saw things like game trailers and other things that were, we saw blogs and other things going away, and we were like, this can't last forever. And like James was saying, we need to evolve. And it was a little scary seeing things like game trailers like not really changing and seeing this attitude of like editorial will always exist, but we're like it doesn't make you money. It doesn't make you money at all. And people are like, but people need journalists. Like, no,
I
they
think
don't.
a lot of the hurdles GT faced as well were that it was a small team that was divided between editorial and entertainment. So the same team that was trying to pump out reviews and get them out by embargo was still trying to produce entertainment content and doing that with limited resources, and that but also it's really hard to just be reliant on editorial because you can't have a regular slate of content, right?
Yeah.
Like reviews are sporadic.
It's very timely.
You can't really rely on a big review every week. You can't schedule that. You can't make a programming slate based off of reviews. You can only do that with your own original content that is not extremely time sensitive or dependent on that. And I mean, I still think that the bigger issue is that a lot of developers and publishers can just have their own internal production. They don't need someone to host their trailer. They don't need a website to showcase their game. They can do that themselves, and that kind of gives me faith because a lot of the people that I know that from editorial production have gotten jobs now at these outlets.
That was me, sorry.
Oh, I'm like, do you want to play?
No, sorry, I just kicked you.
They've gotten jobs now at these outlets, so I think there is hope for that side of the editorial community. That it's
Look at things like Giant Bomb. That works where it has sort of this.
It's found a way to hybridize.
Yeah, I mean, not that Rooster Teeth invented it or anything, but like having sort of the Rooster Teeth model of like have your fans support it. It's sort of like the original Patreon, where it's like, yeah, have like a sponsorship program, like support it, and then views don't fucking matter. Like you got people paying for what they want, and like that's I've liked that sort of the democracy of it all, or the I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But like I think that's a good maybe. Fingers crossed. Hopefully there's enough smarts at the remaining of the game trailer staff that they can band together and do something for the people who still want to see that and who want to support it. So I hope they do something.
Well, it's funny because you talk about the ad model itself as a whole, right? You'll get there's a channel that I've always watched from a distance. That towards the end of last year they were like, yeah, we're not going to do this anymore. It's called Classic Game Room.
Oh yeah.
And last year they were like, yeah. At the end of I guess it was November or December, they were like, yeah, in 2016 we're just gonna like.
They relaunched with a Patreon, right?
Yeah. They said, hey, we're not gonna do this anymore full time, and we're gonna focus on the rest of my career. And the feedback was, shit, man, we'll back you. And so they relaunched with a Patreon, and I think they launched it literally like a week ago, and he's generating like $11,000 right now just off the Patreon. So like, but the view counts on his content, will be 30. 40,000, 10,000 views,
wow.
whatever, which doesn't, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't generate a lot of money.
Yeah.
But,
Is it just him? Is there a team?
I think he's got a few people behind him. But
It's like the Netflix thing. If if they got 50 million people paying for Netflix, and it's generating whatever it is, $5 to $10 a month per user, and Kimmy Schmidt comes out and only gets like 5 million views or less or whatever. They're like, whatever, we're still getting the money.
Yeah.
It's fine. So.
Oh, I found another yarn thing.
I hope Yarny doesn't die. It's a beautiful game.
I assumed that if Game Trailers ever closed, Defy would ingratiate some of the staff and the shows in with The Escapist.
Yeah, which makes sense, but apparently not.
When Gamefront shut down, that's what happened, which was also a Defy property.
I think the biggest thing with game trailers, and at least we talked about this for a minute before, but the biggest thing with game trailers was their name. Later on.
Jeez.
You think
Sorry, I didn't mean that to sound so derisive, but no, it's a good point. That the name itself is a bygone era.
Well, you think about 2003 when it launched, right?
Yeah.
And not having YouTube, and as Elise talked about, having these outlets that now anybody can get their trailer out to whoever they want, whenever they want on their own platform, right?
In beautiful QuickTime.
Yeah, those are wonderful. I want to play this game. But
sorry, I was talking about the old. I remember
sorry.
I remember the old Game Trailers website being like, we have a QuickTime player, and you're like, holy shit!
QuickTime and Windows Media as well.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, you could download them.
But you look at that, and a line of their business was actually companies using their outlet to get their trailer in front of, like, people would pay them to put their trailers on their site because they had such a large audience, and that disappeared quickly
As soon as YouTube became a competitor.
And the idea of like, hey, where do I go for game trailers? Well, you go to YouTube for game trailers.
Yeah.
You don't go to GameTrailers.com for game trailers. And so what do I go to game trailers for? I don't know.
The reviews. The reviews have in my opinion, Game Trailers reviews have always been the best reviews in the industry. And
I agree.
To this day,
I agree. I was going to say that, I've been going to Game Trailers forever. Was it you that posted the screenshot of, like, the old layout? Like, I was like, yeah, I used to be there. And I used to check it pretty often. And honestly, the content that I watched were the reviews, which we've covered all this, but were kind of unpredictable. There wasn't always an amazing review every single day or every single week because there wasn't always an amazing game. But the fact that they had these, like, video reviews, and probably the only place where you could get, like, a good video review pre-YouTube. You could read a review somewhere. You can get it in a magazine or whatever, but, like, one of the few places where you could, like, actually watch a review, and it just tells you everything you need to know.
It was it was a strange thing, though, because it was always voiced by Brandon.
Yeah.
It was Brandon Jones, who has a wonderful voice. I remember meeting him and being like, hey, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
You're the voice of all those cartoons.
I had to get real giggly around voice actors. It's weird.
I like voice actors. I don't know why.
And interestingly, the only other content that I really watched on that was Screw Attack.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize there was a delineation at the time. Like,
I didn't
it was
either,
like, oh, I really like Game Trailers for their video game vaults and their top 10s and their reviews. And so 2 out of those 3 things were Screw Attack content. And
nobody else knew either because nobody came to our website. They don't watch it on Game Trailers.
Well, for me, I saw this. This is the Screw Attack section of the website, which just kind of, I was like, okay, so they have the Screw Attack section of the website.
Well, for the longest time, just straight off stats, so you can take this however you want, but for the longest time, we were the most popular thing on their site by a large margin. To the point to where we did about 1.5 billion views over the course of 3 years on their channel, and that was obviously huge for us. And people, we would do Video Game Vault or top 10. Once again, this is 2007, 2008, 2009, where our videos are doing 400,000 views, and sometimes reach up to 1 million an episode, and that would people would go there to watch that stuff, and it was really, really beneficial for, I think, everybody. It was like the best of a mutually beneficial thing, because for us, it allowed us to get the word out, allowed us to make money. For them, it allowed them to have an opportunity to, be a home of some stuff that people wanted to watch, which was really cool. So, it's so nuts, so crazy just to think about how everything has changed. You look at all the companies that have come and gone in the last few years. They didn't make the cut. You look like 1UP and Game Trailers and all these other outlets that either didn't evolve or they stayed with the old business model, and now it sucks because they're not here.
Well, going back to the YouTube thing too, a lot of people talk about how much they hate YouTube and Content ID. You can think of Icon for that. That's what happened. And I'm not saying Game Trailers is the blame, but that was a part of it, was them saying they're trying to protect that and be like, no, you want game trailers? You go to game trailers. You know, you don't go to YouTube. Like, we're going to sue you. And then YouTube's like, okay, fine. We got this content ID thing in place, and that protected them.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of other like Viacom properties too, like SpongeBob and stuff that were ending up on YouTube and getting content ID'd.
Yeah,
we got one of our first flags from Viacom.
Oh, really?
We did a.
They're like, we own Screw Attack.
We did a video game vault on a Ren and Stimpy game, and we didn't show any footage of it. It was just the gameplay. And they're like, "Screw you! You can't use this." And we're
really?
Like, yeah. So
through Content ID?
Well, it was when it was, I guess, manually flagged way back in the day.
My
this was
God.
like 2006.
What the fuck?
So literally, that flag though, it didn't get resolved till 2011.
Wow.
So we didn't use YouTube from a business perspective until 2011, until Revision 3, who we were working with at the time. They cleared it up, and even Revision 3, like there's somebody who's kind of gone by the wayside now with R3 games and such, and but yeah, I mean, it took 4 years to get that done, and I think had we not got that cleared away and started working with YouTube at that time, I mean, who knows where Screw Attack would be now, because YouTube is such an important part of our business. You know, like you get on YouTube past, you know, like talking about 2014. Jeez, are you kidding me? That's tough.
Well, it's like James always said, it's the ocean as opposed to the lake. You know, like everyone's swimming in it, but you can cast the widest net. That's where you go. And like we've always used like metaphors of like, it's a billboard. It's where you, like, as like Screw Attack is a website, Rooster Teeth's website. So all these different things where YouTube is your billboard, and you put your best forward-facing stuff there and go, look at this. And you want more of it? Go over here. Like how we're live streaming right now to a day early to a sponsored
we
audience.
live streaming right now?
Yeah, we are. Oh. Yeah, but super live.
Yeah.
Rooster Teeth's
You wish you didn't say all those things about the Jews.
Craig.
Yeah, because it's not getting edited.
I always wanted to say that. Now I said that. Well, then I want to use this opportunity to let everybody know that we're going to be migrating over to the Rooster Teeth website here soon.
Okay.
Oh yeah? You're going to have your own subdomain?
Yeah, it's going to be
Screw.attack?
No, just when you go to Screw Attack, it'll take you to a website that looks not unlike our current site, but is all the users in Rooster Teeth will have access to it and such. And
right on.
So it's going to be good. So the goal was have it done by February 15th, which is our 10-year, but that's not going to happen. So it's just we have so many videos, like 6,000 videos that need to go through. So
good God.
So
are you just bulk processing them at this point?
I don't know. You got to talk to Adam about that.
Okay.
Adam, let Adam Baird take all that stuff. So
Leave me out of this.
So it sounds like
I don't want to touch your videos.
It sounds like one of the takeaways, and you guys can correct me if I may be mishearing the conversation, but it sounds like the games media has changed to the point where, you know, you either what works now from a populist standpoint is the Let's Play kind of personality-driven content. If you want the holistic, kind of quieter, more somber, more respectful PBS-style editorial, that has to be direct supported from the consumer because there just isn't enough demand for it.
We are straight up in the 90s version of the internet right now, to where people like loud, ridiculous, hey, yo, dude, gnarly, you know, like, and it's all about, you know, you talk about editorial, you talk about where things are at. Like, when Screw Attack started, I very much wanted to be larger than we actually were, right? You look at, you know, it was me and Tom when we started, and I always had these fake people who were like, they're helping us out with the show. We had this Jocelyn, the intern, and producer Randy, and like, they didn't exist, right? But they were there because I wanted to appear larger, because we were going, like, our competitors was technically IGN and GameSpot, and they were these big outlets and game trailers, right? But you look at where things are at now, and people like individuals, they like ensembles, they like, you know, and it's such a different. Everything is different than it was, you know, 10 years ago when it was.
Well, we were talking too a lot about how if content is editorial, it's more infotainment.
Oh, 100%.
Like you said, and channels like Game Theory,
Game Theories,
and Did You Know Gaming are the big, and because they put a little kind of a fun, quirky twist on just giving you information. Game Trailers used to have a show called Pop Fiction, which is Michael Damiani run.
I tried to hire Damiani so hard.
Really?
Yeah, like, I wanted Damiani to come work for Screw Attack, like, after he was leaving. Like, because he moved back to Dallas, and I was like, dude, I want to take Pop Fiction, but I don't want to be like, I don't want it to be Pop Fiction. I want to be like, you know, whatever fiction, you know,
Screw fiction.
I was gonna say Screw Fiction.
Yeah,
Screw history.
To where it was not unlike, but because I love Pop Fiction. I thought Pop Fiction was
Pop
an amazing
Fiction's the best show.
Yeah, Damiani did great work on that.
Michael Damiani is like one of the most talented people I've ever worked with.
He's working with Funimation now.
Say that about everybody.
Oh, yeah?
Sean Poole, just another talent.
You don't have to lie while he's in the room.
With Damiani, right? Like he landed on his feet. He didn't know where he was going, but he's working for Funimation now, doing cutting for them and shooting stuff. I see him frequently because they actually come to our office every Wednesday to shoot their podcast. So
that's where that happens.
Yeah,
Crunch.
so,
Or sorry. Wait, what's
Double
the
Talk?
Okay.
Yeah.
Crunch Talk.
So yeah, they shoot at our office, and so he comes in and he's there, and yeah, man, it's crazy because everyone at game shows, they'll land on their feet, they'll land somewhere because they're too talented not to, and it just sucks that what happened yesterday had happened. So
That's how I feel. And I also feel like just working with different developers and publishers is
He's gonna
a
drown.
big option for
I
everybody.
left in solidarity with them. You guys should all leave too. Yeah.
They said you take ours, we're going to take one of yours.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Why us?
Weird Rumpelstiltskin thing.
All right, guys. Hey, Adam.
What's up, girl?
Ask me what time it is.
What time is it?
Time for you to get a watch, Adam.
Okay.
Boo! Talking about the 90s.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by Movement Watches. They're an interesting watch company because they make watches, and I'm glad that still happens because watches are cool. Their whole thing is they want to give you class and a good look at a low price.
Mine's upside down.
Hold
on.
Jesus. So all their watches, provided you still know how to read an analog watch, they start at $100, which is a great price for a good look. If you are maybe in college, maybe just graduated, you're chasing that adult dream, you want to look like a classy individual at the bar, you want to walk up, order a nice drink, tap that bar, have a lady notice your timepiece, or a man, whatever. Movement's a good place to start.
If I'm at a bar, I don't want a lady to notice my timepiece. I want them to notice my other piece. I'm just saying.
Boom.
Well, so
Like a gun?
Yeah. You're packing.
I'm packing.
piece.
I'm packing.
here's
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
do. You put your hand on the bar, you put your gun next to it, and then you just slap your dick right there. So it's 1, 2, 3.
Buy these watches.
Yeah, the ladies know what to say.
That's what you're telling
So we
me?
can't help you with the dick or the gun, but we can help you with the watch. Go to movementwatches.com. So just so you're aware, the brand is MVMT, even though it's pronounced movement. So it's mvmtwatches.com/dudesoup, and you can get 15% off your entire purchase.
See if you can find the Joel watch. There's one watch that is like perfectly encapsulates Joel.
Yeah, some people already know
by
this guy.
design.
Joel's been wearing a movement watch for a couple weeks now, and some people have asked about his sharp look.
That's not the
Bam.
watch, though, is it?
I don't know.
don't know.
We'll have to let our
Figure it out.
viewers decide for
Tweet
themselves.
us.
Can
Tweet
they-
us the Joel watch.
Twist, flip.
So yeah, it's classy shit. And it's not that expensive. Pretty good stuff. I remember, and even still in my life, I try to find ways to appear to have the semblance of adulthood and culture, but save all my money for video games.
Show people your hernia stitch.
Yeah, and also hernias. You're gonna get them someday,
Look,
and
it's Joel Watt.
you're gonna need a watch to tell you when to go to the hospital. So once again, that's movementwatches.com, mvmtwatches.com/dudesoup, and get 15% off your entire order. Once more, that's mvmtwatches.com/dudesoup, and get yourself a quality timepiece. You'll always know the time.
You want to hear an utterly unverifiable statistic
Absolutely.
that'll get you to buy a watch?
Yes.
Did you know that most people just pull out their phone to check the time, right? And 90% of all broken phones result from just taking out your phone to check the time. Now imagine how much you could save with a watch.
Is that real? Did you just make that up?
That's real.
Absolutely.
That's a real.
That is a 100% real statistic.
I've got another real statistic. Every time you go outside and you pull out your phone, you become 300% more likely to be robbed.
That's true, yes.
So keep your phone in your pocket,
Yeah.
pretend to be poor, but
I've-
still have a nice watch.
I've got a statistic. Did you know that the Big Bird was supposed to be on the Challenger, but
not
he
this.
couldn't? They couldn't fit him on the aircraft.
Everyone
so
knows
then
that,
they
Lise.
sent that teacher instead.
No, wait, hold on. Back up. Christy McAuliffe.
I don't know what her name
That
is.
was her name because my elementary school is named after her.
Oh.
Let's bring it all back right now. Let's bring
Yeah,
it back. Bring it back
they
to
were
memories.
going to put Big Bird on the Challenger
Like
to
Big-
educate children about
Carol-
space
yeah.
and
like
science.
Big Bird, the
the bird.
The
I'm
bird.
assuming
the actor,
Carol Spinney
the
in
actor
the suit.
in the suit was going to go up.
They couldn't fit him.
They couldn't fit him.
send a teacher instead.
There wasn't enough
you imagine?
space.
Yeah, but what watch was he wearing?
Can you imagine though, like during the explosion when he's like this and he's like, ah!
No, I've already. We were making this joke this weekend where it's like for some reason he's in the suit
We
as
made
they're
all the
taking
Challenger
off,
jokes.
and there's like
Challenger joke series
explosions
up
and shaking,
Yeah.
and he's like, "What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, I hear some weird things.
Yeah,
Snuffy."
But you, as like one of the passengers, is looking at him like most people do when they see a Muppet. They talk to the Muppet, not the puppeteer.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Big Bird, I'm sorry." He's like, "I'm down here. I'm so sorry."
I'd like to imagine.
What's that smell?
E is for explosion.
And then, as I was telling Elise, there would be an episode on Sesame Street where Mr. Hooper has to explain, or you have to explain to Mr. Hooper what happened to Big Bird as opposed to the other way around. If anyone hasn't seen that, they should go watch a clip from Sesame Street where the cast of Sesame Street has to explain to Big Bird that one of their longtime cast members, Mr. Hooper's dead.
Because Big Bird's only like 5 years old.
God.
I mean,
Sesame Street.
been around for 15 years
No,
or
but-
20 years at this point, but yeah.
Anyway, that's just a statistic for you guys.
So buy the watch.
So go by the watch. Hey,
In case you were worried that we have to be stymied by a political, we haven't been bought out just yet.
So I want to bring back to the earlier conversation
Sure.
with you, Lawrence. You were talking about the 3 places a man can have a hernia.
Oh, yeah.
You only mentioned 2. Where's the third?
No, it's 1, 2, 3. So it's one right above the umbilical and then on both legs.
Oh, on both. Well, okay. I thought legitimate here. I could have sworn you can get a hernia like right on your taint between.
Oh, I've heard of that, I think.
Look it up.
A
You
turnia.
mean where God stitched us up?
Elegant. I
Stitch ya?
I don't know that. So I don't
Thanks,
know.
Fool,
I don't
appreciate
know
it.
that fascia's down there, but I mean, it could be. Despite being an expert, I'm no expert.
Well, just when you go in and talk to the doctors next time, will you find out for me?
You got fucked by that crap. Yeah, sure. I got to schedule a checkup today. So.
Just ask. Just see what they have to say.
Hey, I heard about this taint hernia.
Can I have one?
All the
Do
cool
you know
kids are
Craig
getting
from
it.
Screw Attack?
Yeah.
He says you can get a taint hernia. Lawrence.
Gooch.
Is there a medical name?
Medical.
Hey, Lawrence.
What is this? What is this?
No.
How much more time do we have?
I think it's time to
Yeah.
move on to more in the lots of Sean Poole. So, Craig, thank you for
Oh, yeah.
joining us.
Yeah, see you later, guys. Hey, we're
Craig.
doing for those of you guys watching, we're doing our 48-hour marathon to celebrate our 10-year birthday. If you guys want to watch it, you'll be able to watch it on either our Twitch station or our Game Trailers. No, not Game Trailers.
yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking there. Or
He's back.
on gaming.youtube. So either Twitch or gaming.youtube, and you can watch it there.
Just Screw Attack on both.
Yeah, it's Screw Attack on both. It'll start noon Central Time on Monday, which is our 10th anniversary to the date, and we're going to have 48 hours after that. And if you're a fan of Screw Attack, you'll recognize a lot of people who, from the past who are making appearances and stuff. So
Like Yarny?
Yarny.
Big Bird.
There's a perineal hernia, which is down.
It's the gooch.
Has to do with the pelvic floor. It says.
Ugh.
I really like the way you said that,
Pictures
Spool.
on-
Cool.
well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Craig. Yeah,
coming,
everyone-
Craig.
See you after the
All right, Spool.
podcast, Craig.
Get in here and make everyone sad.
Oh.
No.
I don't like making people sad.
Well, you're doing it. You're doing it. You're the one leaving. Everybody. All right, everybody.
Yarny.
Spool's leaving.
Why are you
Why are you
leaving us
doing
like Yarny?
This game is about loss, Sean.
Look how
Is
sad
it?
he
He's
is.
losing his strings.
This is
needs it.
us. This is us with Spool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's literally a spool of yarn.
Oh.
Wordplay.
Like a candle in the wind.
But yeah, as most people found out yesterday or last night, I'm going back home. I'm leaving my job here at Funhouse after lots of months and months of deliberation. This has been. It's not like just something that I decided to do yesterday or a couple days ago. It wasn't like the guys being mean to me or something. I'm like,
Yeah, we are.
shut up,
We are
Spool.
mean, yeah.
We
even
are.
though they're mean to me every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nothing like that. It's been a long-term thing. Even before working here, at Funhouse, or even going back years. When I first moved down here, I worked for G4 and was like, this is gonna be the best thing ever. It's video games and TV and stuff like that. And then I moved to a city called Los Angeles, and I've never really liked it here that much. And all my friends are back home and all my family's back home and stuff. And I have a big family and we've always been close and stuff like that. And so I've been down here for going on 7 years this summer, which is crazy. It's flown by so fast. Because originally when I moved down here, I'm like, my plan, I'm going to be there for 3 or 4 years, learn all the ropes and stuff, and then come back and do my own thing. This is when I was first coming out of college, all starry-eyed and be like, this is what I'm going to do. You really know what's going to happen. No one really knows what's going to happen with their future. But anyways, I've been always been chasing another job or dream, not job, but dreams and going with things. That's why I went to Machinima with these guys after G4 kind of like turned into a shit show, and went over to Machinima and had a great time there. And then like went with you guys over to Funhouse because I'm seriously the biggest reason why I've stayed around as long as I have the last 3 or 4 years with like Machinima and Funhouse is because of you guys. And like you guys are all super awesome. And then like with Funhouse and IG and stuff, the fans like also helped me stay around because I've been like super like this is really like depressing. Like I've been really lonely like without my family and friends, and I've been like I'm a very introvert, and like social anxiety is like a thing for me, and so like LA is a big city with lots of people, and like I feel like I just stay in my apartment all the time because I don't like going outside and interacting with all these random strangers and people and stuff. So like being in a big city like this is not like my cup of tea. But so there's all these different factors. There's other things like I want to be able to own a house someday. And in LA, like me and Lawrence talked about this, like how like
it's impossible.
It's not necessarily impossible, but like
you kind of have to break through to another layer.
Yeah,
you have to be like a Hollywood asshole,
or you have to be willing to have a really, really long commute.
Exactly, or you drive 2 hours one way, and like you live in Santa Clarita, like way up there, and drive into like LA or Culver City.
Just for those who are like, I guess, unaware of like the area, I used to live in Venice, not Venice Beach, mind you, like near Venice.
Venice, the city.
I had a 1-bedroom apartment that was roughly $1,800 a month. Down the street was a brand new home they built with no driveway. I believe it only had 2 bathrooms, but they were selling it for $2 million.
It's
ridiculous. That was roughly 10 years ago.
There's basically, and the
your
thing
rent's
is,
probably doubled at
the
this
thing
point.
is, it's not even like it's like they're mansions or whatever.
Yeah,
we don't have to turn it into an LA real estate podcast,
like a
but
3-bedroom house.
It's like basically in Los Angeles right now, Los Angeles proper, or all of Los Angeles County, there's just like an entry fee of like $1.2 million, like just to have a house, and then on top of that, it's whatever the actual value of the house.
And then you're stuck there.
Unless you have like, I think the only way I really see it realistically is like if you have a spouse that also makes really good money or something like that, and you're just like still clawing and like finding like the smallest house that you like and stuff. But that's just like future goals. Like I don't see myself owning a house still for many years, but like just being here, like I don't see that at all in my future. And like I miss the outdoors and I miss the rain. It's like all these really lame stuff because I grew up north of Seattle, so I'm used to like rain. And people are like, why would you miss the rain? The sun's awesome. You guys have sun all the time. Like I miss weather.
Yeah.
Like LA, when it rains, it usually rains in the middle of the night, and I'm like super sad the next day because I'm like, oh, I missed it.
Yeah.
But I like there's all kinds of reasons like that, and like I went home during Christmas time and saw one of my cousins that was like really close when I was growing up, and like all through high school and stuff like that, like ones that we always hung out with like in the summer and went camping and all these things. And she was like, I haven't seen you since you moved to California. I haven't seen you in 7 years because whenever I go home, I only have like a week maybe to see everyone, and like most of my like extended family all live in Eastern Washington, which is like a good 3-hour drive away, so there's never really like a chance for me to get over there and see all of them. And like it just makes me kind of realize like how much I'm missing out on like family reunions or like all kinds of stuff like that, which is all just, I don't know, it's funny to like say that stuff you miss, but at the same time, like
I mean, I would say most people miss that.
Absolutely.
Like, most. We don't necessarily represent functional human beings here in this office. We're kind of weird outliers of certain situations, but like most people, what they value most are family and home and stuff like that. And so you're not out of line to feel like these things are important.
It's just
to
like, and then like one of my friends was asking me like, he's like, I can't understand, like I have no idea like what it must be like for you to go through like something like this. And I'm like, it's weird. Like I'm super excited and like happy and like excited to see where my future's gonna go and stuff because I really don't know that much, but that's also what's exciting about it. But I feel like I never as a person want to disappoint anybody, and so like I feel like I'm disappointing like thousands and thousands of kids, and it's like
mostly just Bruce
and Bruce and just lots of people, and I was like, I don't want to let anyone down.
I'm
but
really
also
when I mean I've known you for several years, but when I started I was like, I get to see Sean Poole every day. And you looked me in the eye and you said, I'll be here forever.
That's what you said.
And I said,
I'm leaving because of Elisa's lies.
Well, but I'm going to miss you, Sean.
Oh.
Well, I mean, everybody's going to miss you.
Yeah.
Yarny
and
will miss you.
and like everyone's acting like, thank you, Adam. That sounded sincere.
Aw.
What, that Yarny's gonna miss you?
We got him for a second. My voice cracks and go, hey, got him. No, but yeah, like I'm not dying. Like it seems like on the on the like subreddit stuff, like goodbye, and like there's so many like
he's gonna be on the
there's
internet.
so many
When
things.
you get your
I-
hernia taken.
My only hope is that
I
you've
already
done,
had my hernia taken
Oh,
out
that's
when I was
true, he
6.
did.
I had a hernia.
my
been through
only
this.
hope is that
Oh.
you've done enough here to make it really difficult for you when you go back home.
Right?
Kind of like Bruce's toilet photo where he's like, anytime
Yeah.
he can never be president
yeah.
because there's a picture of him on the toilet on the
Right?
internet.
I've always like, I don't know
Yeah.
what. I don't know where I'll end up. Like that's a like real possibility.
Gay
but
porn.
of like, I could end up back here in like a year or whatever. I'm like, I'm so
Do you-
desperate or
Do
whatever.
you think that you still want to do like production and stuff?
Yeah, right now I'm really interested in like live producing, like whether that's like live stream stuff for like whether it's like for a gaming company or anything like that. Because there's a lot of them out there that do like streams and stuff on Twitch or stuff. That's super interesting to me. I don't know if I'll end up there, but I'm also like totally happy doing like just media, like producing or production and stuff like that. Like I would love to stay doing this sort of thing. I don't want to do news if I can help it. I really don't. I've never enjoyed news because I know there's jobs openings and stuff like news stations up there. But I'm like, no, thank you. So like web-based video production or anything like that. Like obviously,
Doing, Adam?
I don't know. I lost it.
Adam knows what he's doing. He's just not doing it in the right order.
I'm also
Sorry,
trying to
Mike,
listen to
you're
Spool.
right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
it's okay.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to undercut your.
Come back. Oh, it's up there. Shit. I wasn't paying attention.
But
What's gonna happen to the Spool Boys?
Yeah.
So-
So Schoolboys is still in effect.
so yeah, I'm still gonna be streaming and stuff. I'm not like people are like, are you gonna go full-time streaming and be Ray? I'm like, no, I've never really like. I don't want to like count on having to make streaming like my full-time job. Like if that happened like naturally somehow where I have like 1 million subs and it's like a viable thing, that would be
Shit,
cool.
if you have 1 million subs,
Yeah.
I'll come work for you.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like if it's like a no-brainer of
Actually-
like, okay, well why am I like doing another job? But I want like the stability of a normal job and I don't
Yeah.
want to have to rely on like the fickleness of the internet, I guess. Like
Sure.
I love the Spool Boys and stuff, but like what if like my computer dies and I can't stream for like a month. And then everyone disappears and I'm like, oh, well now I have no money and no job and like stuff like that. So I want to like stay in the attached to the real world, I guess, so to say.
Tethered.
Grab.
Just
Tethered.
tethered.
Tethered, thank you. That's a good word.
Much
Tethered
like
like
Yarny.
Yarny.
Were your parents like supportive of your choice, but really happy to learn that you are coming home?
Yeah, and like I said, this has been a long like discussion and thought. Like I've been having like kind of like serious thoughts about it since like last spring or so. Of just kind of like, well, okay, I like acknowledge that I had these like feelings of just like I don't enjoy being down here anymore. I want to go home and stuff. And like it's almost like Inception, where like once it like takes hold, you just can't like. I did my best to like do pros and cons and like all these things of like, okay, well why am I here? Because it's a great job and it's great people. But like what don't I like? And like listing all these things of like loneliness, unhappiness, like missing my family and friends, like all these things. So I'm like doing that over months and months. But my mom was like wanting to make sure that it was for the right reasons, of course. Like they didn't want me and like to have some kind of plan for when I go home. And like I've been fortunate enough that I've saved up enough money. Being lonely and an introvert and I don't go outside, I save a lot of money that way. I've saved up enough money that I have a big enough buffer that I can be okay for quite a while, even if I can't find a job when I go home right away. I'm pretty confident that I have the skills and stuff to find a job, and I'm not like too picky necessarily of like I'm above anything.
Just the news.
I mean, well,
Just
I don't
the
know
news.
how you,
I would do
You
the
can't
news
be
if
above
that was my
anything.
last choice, but
You
just
think,
because
you think it's gonna be tough out there for a 45-year-old?
News is depressing. But yeah, my parents have been super supportive. Basically, like, and they've known since like I moved down here that about that 3 to 4 year plan of like I don't want to be down here forever. I want to come back home. Like hell, like my driver's license and my license tabs in my car are still Washington State.
Don't tell the California government.
They're watching.
But They can't do anything. I believe in less than 2 weeks.
They'll see you at the airport.
Right, they're like,
yeah.
waiting. I'm not flying. I'm driving.
Are you
I don't know which
Jonathan
route.
Poole?
I get him at the border.
You should.
But
Send you back to Canada.
There's just like there's 18 drug runners and then Spool's picture right at the bottom. And the guy with the mustache is like,
top 10 most wanted.
"Hey, get out of the car!"
Just like does a double take. That's him. I've got like a fake mustache on top of my mustache.
I think I'm gonna need to see your license. Washington State, huh?
No, but it's like something that's always been there. Of like I was gonna return home at some point. My mom's been like waiting for this day forever, and my mom's like a very like she's not like I want my boy. I don't care. Blah blah. She's
kind of
a
is.
very.
That's how she
she's a
sounds.
very.
You met your mom. She's very nice.
Your mom's
She's
great.
a very logical, calculated person in general, and I trust her opinion, especially with like financial stuff or like career stuff that makes sense. Like I've always trusted her that way, and when she told me that it was like a good move or a smart move, I was like, okay, that basically gave like
You trust your mama.
I do. I trust my mom, and like
First
obviously,
mistake.
I don't. I don't want to have to rely on them, but I always have their support too. If like shit happens, and like for whatever reason I
You get a hernia.
need help. Yeah, if I get a double hernia again.
We're back.
Triple hernia.
But
It's the hernia episode.
But yeah, my parents are fully supporting me. My mom's actually like flying down here in a couple days. Maybe she'll come into the office. I don't know. But my
great.
mom's gonna fly down and help me move back home.
Oh, great.
So that's cool.
So you have like 2 car fulls of stuff you can take back?
So I have I'm gonna get a U-Haul that I'm gonna drive, and then she's gonna drive my car. So
Okay, great.
yeah.
Awesome.
I love long haul Spool.
All right.
With a hat.
Yeah, he already has the hat for it.
True. I got a few. I'm like, which one do I choose? I'm just sitting there.
This is an important life moment.
You just need a tan on your left arm. Become Trucker Spool.
Right.
Eating nothing but chicken fried steak 3 meals a day.
But yeah, I'm
Picking up lot lizards.
Well, I guess this is one story we never really got to tell. Because it's not.
What is it?
No, it's not really a story. It's just because I think one day people are like, "Why is Spool part of the team?" This is back on Inside Gaming.
Oh.
We used to share the office with ETC. That was a weird thing they were doing. They were like, "We're gonna make them share an office. Like we do different types of content." And they're like, "You should share."
They want to raise ETC up to IG's level. and learn from
I
them.
always thought Ricky and Elliot were fine. Like they were going to do everything on their own. They were like they're smart, funny guys. They didn't need us, and they already knew what they were doing. So I always thought it was kind of weird. But Spool, I think who do he sat next to Peak or something or
I sat next to or behind Lawrence.
behind Lawrence,
Yeah.
yeah. And we would live stream every day, and we noticed that Spool would not be paying attention to his work, and he'd be watching a stream.
I
Watching
help
the
with
live stream.
Yeah.
I'd moderate
I love
chat
live
and stuff.
stream.
Well, that was the thing. We always knew that, like, and we'd have discussions about gaming, and like, Spool was always like, "I want to talk about gaming."
Yeah.
And we're like,
Oh, yeah.
and then I
I don't
think,
want to talk about X-Men anymore.
yeah, and then we needed a new hire, and we're like, "Spool, would you be happier like doing video games?" Like, yes, and we essentially stole Spool from
Bruce
ETC.
traded me to Ricky or something like that, as I think what I understood. Like,
No.
like you guys had already decided that I was gonna move to Inside Gaming before, like, even telling me or asking me, because you just assumed you knew that that's what
I think it was one of
wanted.
those times like Bruce and I had lunch, and we're like, "What do you think about Spool?" And we're like, "Yeah, we could use Spool." And then we just kind of stole you. But that was pretty much how we just took you, is because we saw your infatuation with gaming and how
Yeah.
you didn't really give a shit about entertainment.
Yeah, and it's I love entertainment news and I loved ETC and like everything. I learned so much there and had a great time. But gaming is like definitely my passion more than entertainment
Yeah.
news and stuff like that. And so like you guys pulled me over to IG was like the greatest thing ever. And yeah, and like during the live streams I'd be like, you guys like, we need a walkthrough. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm watching.
Yeah, it was always fun. So as much as I guess people may think of Spool as our whipping boy, like we always had a huge amount of respect for him. It was like he was always part of the team.
Thank you.
So yeah, even when you weren't, and then we stole you.
This is weird though, because this is the first time I can think of where someone's left. And harsh reality check. We're probably not going to be doing Funhouse when we're 100 years old. I mean, I'm going to be dead, but like
I'll be 98.
when Elise is 98 years old and Lawrence is 101,
I'll be dead
riddled
at
with
that point.
Yeah, you'll be
hernias.
No, my meat body will be decaying in the ground. I'll be some presence on the internet.
At some point,
Ukraine.
Funhouse will change what it is, but this is the
The
first.
new class. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
Yeah,
Is this season 2?
I think so. Yeah.
this must be season 2, but it's interesting because like this is the first time like something's really changed. Like we've added people. We just added Omar,
Elise.
and
a couple months ago.
and we added Elise a couple months ago. But like, it's interesting. I'm curious to see how everyone watching reacts. to
Yeah.
it.
They're gonna be sad.
Um,
They're gonna be super
Yeah.
sad.
I was
they're all super sad.
I was expecting a lot more people to be like, "Why are you leaving? What?" Like mad
anger?
at me.
Yeah.
But almost everyone, like 99% of people, are like, "I'm sad that you're leaving, but I wish you the best in everything that you do," or like, "I'm excited to see what you're doing next," and that's awesome. Like that's a really great feeling. I hope I don't disappoint anyone or let anyone down. Like it would be the saddest thing if I like end up at a McDonald's. Not that working at McDonald's is bad, but like that's so deviant from like what I do now.
Right.
And like people can't like enjoy my content.
Well, I think
guess
that's another thing
good.
too. Is like I think a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
us,
still
a lot of us
enjoy
have
the
come
full
from. Most of us here have worked like retail jobs or
Oh, yeah.
restaurants
Yeah.
or something where I think we're always at some level we're always like no matter how much bitching we do or complaining, it's always like, well, at least I'm not doing what I used to do.
Absolutely.
The thing I hated. Like, and I get to work with people who, I mean, I get to play fucking Yarny today. It's great. It's fun. I was going to say something else, but I can't remember. Something about Yarny.
I know Bruce isn't here, but I know Bruce loves Sean.
That's why he's
guys-
gone though. He's
He
sad.
he couldn't come in.
Couldn't
because
bear.
he's too
Yeah,
upset.
Bruce is like one of like he's basically the first producer that I kind of like took to me and stuff at G4 when I interned there 8 years ago or whatever. 8 years ago, wow. So I interned there and worked with Bruce a lot and James when I interned as well. And then when I came back to G4 the next year, I went to Comic-Con without a job. Newly graduated, I'm like, okay, I know G4 is going to be at Comic-Con. I'm going to just go. I hadn't put my resume out to anyone else. I'm like, I'm just going to go. Hopefully they remember me. And luckily I had a Comic-Con ticket from a friend of mine, and I go there, and I knew where their truck was going to be. And so I went over there and, like, kind of stalked, a little creepy. But anyways, I didn't have to stalk for very long, because first thing, Bruce runs into me. Bruce and, like, Scott Michelle, who was another producer that worked there. And
Love Scott.
they both were like, "Oh, Spool," and they totally remembered who I was, which I was just like hoping that they would remember who I was, because I mean, you see lots of interns like just get churned through at G4. At least there was like 6 in my group alone, but luckily they remembered who I was and remembered that I was a good worker and all that stuff, and immediately like recommended me and like pushed me over to like the executive producers at the time and stuff. And so thanks to Bruce, he kind of like pushed for me to get a job there, and then he also brought me over to Machinima when he was on ETC and stuff. So me and Bruce have a long history.
Bruce has a good eye for talent. That's why he works in porn casting.
Porn casting?
Yeah, that's how we got to start.
You didn't realize that you've been working on pornography?
Yeah.
for the
Oh, that's
last
why
several
there's so
years?
much sexual stuff.
The thing, I mean,
You spend all that time blurring it. We spend all that time unblurring it.
Right? Like we got this.
we have to maintain your innocence. We don't want you to get spoiled by the world.
well, it's one of those things too where it's like we don't just hire people here kind of nilly willy, and like I mean, this is actually kind of the first time where we've been able to kind of hire people, and it's hard to find people.
The right caliber of human being.
Yeah, like Spool's he's a genuine. I'm talking about you like you're dead, but
He is dead. He's dying.
yeah, it kind of feels like it.
Remember Spool?
But it's hard to find genuine people who aren't on all the time. You know, like you can always kind of tell when someone's just forcing it or faking it, and like it's hard to find a funny, genuine person who's just themselves. And like, and Spool's one of those very rare breeds. So it's like it's hard. You can't just like find a new Spool. We're like, I'm not gonna do that.
I'm just naturally.
We already have Elise.
Yeah, Bruce said I was the new Spool. He lied. And
That's
he
why I
stayed
knew I could
home.
leave. I'm like, I've been replaced. I can leave now.
You were waiting for Elise.
You
did this!
I'm so sad.
No.
I love you, Sean.
Well, we all love you, Sean.
Yeah, everybody loves you.
But
we
that,
We'll
all
continue
love
to
it.
love you.
that was like, but going back to like what Adam said, that was like basically like the first thing Bruce said to me when I told him the news
I love
that
you,
I'd made
Sean.
this decision. No, he was just like, he's like, I'm really sad, and like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to replace you because like your personality and like, it's like I can get a new editor, but there's no way I'm ever gonna be able to replace like who you are like as a person and stuff, and that really meant a lot and like stuck with me, and it was very nice.
You've broken my heart.
Also,
Please don't go.
Kissed you twice.
Oh, like what
Then
you're
he
saying.
started to unzip his pants again. It's like, what do I need to do?
One last time.
It's time for dad.
Also, this is another thing too. I guess this is a product of just us being with a different company. But this is the first time where like I've had to deal with someone leaving, where it's not like super sad, and we have to like do like kind of like a PR stint and be like, there were some letting goes, and that's
Yeah.
just how it goes. And it's like I'm really glad that we have like a week to like drag this out, and like I'm just gonna die.
I was gonna say,
and that's-
throw your yarn into the
Oh,
And that's why I wanted to make sure.
Wait, no,
in
that'll
my-
kill him.
In my Reddit post, I wanted to make sure that I said, like, this is 100% my decision. Like, I'm not getting pushed out or, like, laid off or anything like that, like, kids like to come up, like, conspiracy theories or something like that. I'm like, no, this is my choice. I've decided
They're
to do
still
this
going to
and
come
do
up with
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. They're still going to be
I'm
like...
looking forward to the weird
Funhouse
stories people
sweatshop.
invent.
I like the
Horrible
ones that are
store.
like, is it because you owe them so much money on $1 an hour?
Yes, that's
is
exactly
it.
it.
Is it because of the HR thing the other day?
Yep,
Is it-
it's exactly
Like,
HR.
It's all the things.
Hello,
all
HR.
this
This is Spool.
I'd like to be fired now.
That's also
That's not how it works.
as someone who never wanted to be on camera, like when I was at Machinima for like the first half of my like time there on ETC and stuff, I was never on camera or anything. And then one day Kale was like, "Hey, we're gonna have you be on there and be the high guy. You're like high all the time, Spool. We're just gonna make fun of you for being high all the time," which is fine. I've gotten that since like college and stuff, so that was the thing. But like,
You're a regular
I never,
Jim Brewer.
I never intended to be on camera, and like I've never, and it's more of because I don't feel like I'm good on camera. Like I'm just so awkward, and these guys used to watch me every day when I'd do ETC news stories, and I'd stumble like literally on the first word, like every other story. And,
magic.
like, I just was so awkward, and I recognized that and was like, I should not be on camera. But everyone else was like, but you're so endearing because you're awkward and charming, and like, it's. I still don't think I should be on camera.
It's one
But-
thing. It's one
I've
thing to be a
embraced
host or an actor. It's
Yeah.
another thing to be genuine.
Yeah.
And you've only ever been genuine. So I think people recognize that. So.
I think you should host the local news.
Oh my God! Blow him more.
Yes.
Jesus.
I like
All right,
how
guys.
no one ever.
Hello, HR. It's Spool. One last time.
Much.
No,
We gotta. So we can all blow Spool. I think we need to conclude
idea.
the podcast here.
No, wait, it's over.
Yeah, much
No.
like Game Trailers and Sean Pool's life in
God,
general.
a lot of people must be sad.
The podcast has come to an end.
Rest in
This is
pussy, Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, he will.
We're also canceling the podcast and the channel.
What? No.
Yeah, we are.
Don't lie to them,
Spool
Lawrence.
did it.
Yeah.
We
Kids believe your lies.
Spool did it, so now we're shutting everything down. sorry, Spool. We hope you're happy, but the channel's over.
Now
Fun
I'm
is over.
sad.
Oh. Hey, we gotta shut it down. Thanks,
But
Spool.
thank you everybody for listening this week.
Our final Dude Soup podcast.
Yeah, our final Dude Soup, final everything.
They're gonna believe you.
No, they're
the end
not.
of it,
They're not
so-
that-
They still think James was an intern at
I
one
am.
They
point.
don't.
That's
think
because I
that.
am. And I was just hoping to learn from you, Sean, but that's over.
Just a quick reminder, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please give us a little rating on iTunes or whatever service you use. Apologies again, we're still having some feed problems. And apologies about the last podcast on the website. It was only 18 minutes long for some reason, but it's been fixed. So we're going to take a closer look at that from now and make sure that doesn't happen again. But yeah, Spool, thank you for all your work.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And you're Spool's still going to be in videos.
Yeah, for quite a while.
For next little while, just
Yeah.
based off how we make content here. So
At some point, you're gonna say, "God, just leave already."
yeah. So even though it's been announced, you'll be seeing him. It's,
Yeah.
it's designed to cover his tracks, so that
Yeah.
way you guys don't know. You can't intercept him on the road.
Right? The cops can't get me.
You haven't seen it yet, Spool, but I did already have someone make a best of Spool video.
Really?
Yeah. Had that done like
Only it's
like-
called Breast of Spool.
Yeah.
It's just like zooms on
That
my
picture,
chest.
yeah.
Also, I had it
Picture
done.
on the
I had it
side.
done years ago.
Can we keep using that
Before you ever started here.
I have one last important question.
So
So there's that awesome
night,
picture of
Johnny.
Spool on the subreddit now. Can we keep using that?
The naked
Sure.
one?
Yeah.
That's from my Twitch. You
Yeah.
have to talk to my
had like
agent
a-
for that.
2.5 beers and decided
Is
to
that
take
your
a shot.
mom?
My mom probably would be.
All right, guys.
kill
Thanks for
Yarny.
watching.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye, everyone.
YouTube is built on the back of Google Bucks,
Yeah.
which is basically if you put in a cheat code for the world, for the life, this whole global existence in which we all have.
It was just announced today, I believe, or yesterday, that Google is the most profitable company in the world, beating Apple.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And it goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Kind of like someone is liking it to, what is it, Monsters Incorporated, between Sully and Steve Buscemi.
Oh,